Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining. It's your boy Abdullah on the Revert Radio Show, right here on 1440 AM, WNKM, Detroit. Our show today is really standing with what happened over in our in the city of Minneapolis, in the Catholic Church school. That was it was devastating. Obviously, it was heartbreaking. It was scary, very, very scary when it happened. It's a massacre. It's an act of anger. It's an act of devil. It's an act of evil that happened, and it's something that obviously we feel the tragedy. We definitely feel the tragedy, and we feel with those families who lost someone. We feel with everyone that has lost someone in Minneapolis. What happened was horrifying. So if you haven't heard, I'm sure everybody have already heard, there was a mass shooting that occurred at a Catholic school and a church in the city of Minneapolis. It's called Annunciation Catholic School. And what's crazy is that the victims that were targeted were mostly children. Children were being targeted, and the ages, we're talking about 8 to 10 years old. This individual that did this this shooting was, I guess, has some issues in the past with this specific school. He was a 23-year-old individual named Robin Westman, but he was a former student at this school, and he opened fire from the outside in, and it was on the back to school mass, which is a prayer for these individuals at the school, where they come in and they do their little prayer and they start their school. It's an exciting day for these children. It's an excitement for them. They're getting back to school. They're getting, to see their friends, and this happens to them. He opened fire, and then after he opened fire, and obviously that person is a coward. He took his own life after he found out that there's no way out. I guess this was a suicidal mission anyway, because the way that he took himself out was really he was ready for it. So first of all, we ask Allah, the Most High, to keep us safe. We need Allah to keep us safe. We need God, the Most High, the Almighty, to keep us safe, because there are some people who are inflicted by the devil, and the devil is very, very smart. The devil has been around for a very, very long time. He's been around since the time of the prophet Adam, the father of mankind. And he knows exactly how to trigger some people into doing something horrible and horrifying. So this individual that came and did this mass shooting, he targeted innocent people. He targeted children and teachers, the most peaceful people on earth. Teachers and children who normally would not be trying or thinking about hurting anybody. They're living their life hoping for a better day, in the next day. They are living their life looking for excitement, looking for fun, looking for something nice to do. And this individual came and disturbed the peace and even killed a few people. He killed a few of these children, or specifically 2 children were killed, and many were injured. 14 children were injured, and 3 adults were injured as well as the 14 kids. This is very tragic. This is a tragedy. How do we deal with this? How can we cope with this? You know, I come from a background of Palestine, Bethlehem, and right now individuals in that region are being killed every day. For the past couple of years, children has been mass murdered by individuals that would be very similar to this individual who had no peace in their heart, who had no mercy in their heart. And only people who don't have any mercy and people don't have peace within their own selves are the people that would cause this kind of trauma in communities. This person came in and killed children. Children. If you would put children in front of you to fight you, they'd probably be scared to fight you because you're too big. You come and you start shooting them. I mean, this person is dead now. We're not talking to him personally, of course, but we are bringing this horrifying situation to our ears to realize, how do we cope with situations like this? Immediate response, of course, the community has been deeply shaken. You know, prayers has been going out and being held all across the city, and should be all across the world, all across the nation, as we know and as we mentioned, that our mankind should be standing with one another like one body. This is what our prophet taught us. We stand with each other like one body. If something happens to one individual, we should all stand with each other, praying for the safety and the peace for all. We need to look at this situation and try to bring something positive out of it. This person is an individual that's been hiding in the shadows for a very long time. And this is real. He's been plotting for this for a very long time. But where is this violence coming from? Where is his anger coming from? Where is his love for murder is coming from? Could it be? And I want answers from you guys, please. Somebody tell me. If you are listening to us on the radio, you can call me at 313-871-6094. 313-871-6095. And if you are on social media right now with us on Facebook or TikTok, please share your thoughts. Tell me, where do you think this anger came from? This love for killing innocent children came from? Where do you think this love for murdering innocent children came from? Who can tell me their thoughts? Who can give me an idea? Now, I have some ideas. I have plenty of ideas. And some of these ideas may go against some of the people who are listening or watching, but I'm going to say it anyway. And this is my thoughts. This is not factual. I haven't been around this person before. I haven't seen him. I haven't diagnosed him myself, if he's sick or he's not. But number one thing that I think is a reason for someone like this to act like this is being away from God. It's number one. There's no other reason that can be number one besides this reason. This individual had no thoughts of consequences, no belief that there is an afterlife, and no belief whatsoever that there's a judgment day. He wanted to act on his own thoughts, his own beliefs, and did what he did because he felt like there's no consequences. He felt like there's no consequences. Now, when someone doesn't feel like when someone feels like there's no consequences, they feel like they can do whatever they want to do. And as long as they can kill themselves before they get caught, there's no consequences. And that's scary. That's very scary by itself. Why? Because if an individual thinks that they can get away with all murders and all craziness that's happening when they die, then they're going to feel like death is the key. Death is the answer. Then they feel like they can do whatever they want to do. And then when they kill themselves, they got away with it. Well, let me tell you something. That person is going to find out the hard way that there's a judgment day. There's a God that will judge every second of his life. There's a judgment day, and God is going to judge every second of that individual's actions. Another thing that people don't realize, that this person had hatred that was taught to him. And I looked at some news feeds and some reviews about this individual and trying to find out what caused this massacre to happen. He was an individual that was doing a lot of research on his own, watching a lot of videos on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok or whatever. And he was looking on a lot of historical events. He was looking at the Holocaust. He was looking at things that happened in the past and stuff like that. And he was looking at Nazis, and he was looking at many crazy events that happened in the past. And I guess what happened was he felt like he owed someone something, that he wanted to act upon something. So he started purchasing weapons. He started plotting and planning. And from the videos that I heard, which were very disturbing, he was laughing while he was saying, well, these bullets are for the kids. I can't wait to see their faces. What kind of individual is that? That's a person whose heart has been stripped from any kind of mercy, any kind of peace whatsoever. Prayers go out to the families of these children. I really feel bad for what happened. I really hope that life becomes better and easier for you guys. I feel what you have and what's happening. And I stand with anybody who lost a loved one due to some kind of massacre, due to some kind of major crazy tragedy like this. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I ask Allah the Most High to keep us safe. To keep us safe and to keep us peaceful. And to keep individuals who have these crazy thoughts to get them educated or get them healed. Allahumma ameen. This person obviously would have been sick in the head. That he was thinking that he's able to do what he did in someone's life in a very, for them, it was a very sacred moment. They were praying. Just like if you remember the massacre that happened in, where did it happen? In Switzerland. It was a very similar individual who was sick in the head, who broadcast this action on Facebook, and he went to a mosque and he started shooting up the people who were praying. That was very horrible and that was very horrifying. And he was bragging about it, was happy about it. That individual, though, didn't kill himself. That individual wanted to face people. He wanted to face the judges. He wanted to face the police officers. He was bragging about what he has done. There are many cases like this that are happening throughout the world, throughout America, that we say, how can we prevent this problem from happening before it happens? And this is the right way to do things. Because if we don't, then there will be more of these actions and more of these acts. Number one thing that I said was this individual was far away from any kind of connection with God. Some of the scribbles that he had on his book, some of the things that he shared on the video that he scheduled to go on after he does this action. This was crazy. This was crazy planning. May Allah keep those kind of people away from us and away from our loved ones. Allahumma ameen. Another thing is, this person had access to heavy guns. How did that happen? What country are we in? Seriously, why are we able to allow individuals like this person have access to guns this heavy? We're talking about guns that should only be in wars for self-defense. This individual got these guns in a local school, in a local Catholic church. What's happening? How do we have these guns in the cities illegally? How do these guns penetrate our peace, our safety? How do these guns get in the hands of individuals like these? The people who sold these guns, don't they have something to do with this mass massacre? Aren't they responsible for what happened to these kids? Are we going to go after them? Are we going to try to track them down to see what kind of guns they have, what kind of artillery they got, what kind of people they're selling these guns to? Are we going to look into that, or are we just going to close our eyes and act like this is not happening? Because this individual is sick, of course, and he did what he did and he's gone. But those people who have fueled his fire, what are we going to do with them? What are we going to do with them? I really would like to know. I wonder what the government is doing about it. What the police officers are doing. I'm sure they're doing something. I really just want to know. I really want to get to the bottom of it to see that we are actually, hopefully, going to be safer, after seeing problems like this happen, or these problems will be seen again. Because these specific problems happened as we grew up. These massacre shootings have been happening for a very long time. And yet we still see these situations unveil themselves in front of us in a day that no one's paying attention. So, if we tackle everything about this case, we definitely can't do it in 1 hour, not even one day, not even a whole month. So many issues that come out of this situation. Yesterday we were talking about substance abuse. If we find out, or if we search, or if we look into this individual's substance abuse, do you guys think that we will find out that this person was abusing some kind of substances? It was on some kind of drugs? I think this individual could have. I'm not talking for facts. I'm saying this person could have. In order for you to get yourself into the devil's zone this deep, there's no way that you could do this in a sober mind. There's no way. Because any spirit, any individual, any human being would have some kind of mercy in their hearts. But for someone to attack little kids and adults, and I heard that these adults were like in their 90s, like old seniors, like the weakest individuals in the group. And this person have attacked them just for fun, just to please his own desires. And this also goes back to, what was the purpose of this individual? Did he have a positive purpose, or did he have a negative, evil purpose? And absolutely, we all can say that he had a negative, evil purpose. That's the difference when you are living and you are teaching your children that you have to have a positive purpose in life. You've been created by God. Allah the Almighty created you and put you on earth for a reason, for a purpose. You need to tell your children, find out what this purpose is. You need to tell your children, the Most High has given you a purpose. And his purpose has been spelt out. Allah says in the Quran, I have not created humans or jinn except for the sake of worship. Now, worshiping God basically means doing anything that pleases Allah, doing anything that pleases the Almighty God, the Creator. Now, if you're doing that throughout your life, and you are living, doing everything that pleases your Creator, and avoiding anything that displeases your Creator, you will never harm an individual. You will never harm any individual. If you were upon a sin, and you are a person without a purpose, and you are not worrying about hurting people or not hurting people, and then you find out that God has given you a purpose, so find out what your purpose is, then you will be able to repent, come back to Allah, come back to your Creator and say, I repent, please forgive me. I'm ready to take on my purpose. My dear brothers, if you are just tuning in and joining us, we are talking about the massacre that happened in Minneapolis, in the church, in the Catholic school, which is a big tragedy. A few children, or 2 children were killed, ages 8 and 10. 8 and 10. And about 14 were injured. Hopefully they're all gonna make it, they're all gonna be okay. But I wanted to talk about this so we can tackle some of the issues that we see in our daily lives and in our current events. If you remember back, I don't know how old you are, or you probably still go to school today, we used to have current event projects where you have to come up with something from the news to bring it to your teacher and talk about it. And I used to think, back in my days, that was a silly project to do for social studies. But looking at today, and as I grew, I found out that it was a very beautiful project to keep yourself engaged with what's going on today. Like, for instance, the massacre that happened back in a few years ago at the mosque, where someone in New Zealand or something like that opened fire and killed many Muslims and was very proud about it. For individuals like that, in a city like that, same thing with Minneapolis, in a city like that where someone just comes in from their own congregation, student that used to be formerly going to that school, to come in and kill individuals, weak people, defenseless. It's not like a face-off type of situation. No, this person purposely was waiting for them at their weakest points, at the points where they're not even looking behind them. They're not even, I'm guessing some people had their eyes closed while they were praying. And he just started shooting. Obviously, we have to have support within every community to support each other. We all need to stand with families of tragedies. We look at our neighbors and see what's going on. If they are feeling good, if they're not feeling good, find out what the problem is. Try to stand with them, help them out. Our prophet, peace be upon him, says that we need to check on our neighbors up to our 7th neighbor. We need to have good relations with our neighbors up to our 7th neighbor. You look to your right, you look to your left, you look ahead of you. All these are neighbors. We need to have this kind of solidarity with them and stand with them and help them. That's why the Prophet, peace be upon him, makes it an obligation upon us to call people to the truth and tell people about the truth. Now, whether people want to take it or not, that's their desire and that's their option. What we can do is tell people about it. In the Quran, Allah says, or Allah delivers to us a beautiful verse that would spell it out. Whoever kills a soul unless for a soul or for corruption, meaning someone who is employed by, let's say, the city or the government and is carrying out a death sentence or something like that, that's what God is talking about here. Whoever kills a soul that is out of that scenario of a death sentence, that you are hired by the government to take this action, It is as if he had slain mankind entirely. So one soul, you kill one soul out of this scenario that God mentioned, because every state that has the death sentence, this death sentence has to be carried by an individual. And sometimes they make it happen or make it carried by a bunch of individuals, just so that one individual is not the one person that feels like he carried out this death sentence. But whoever kills anyone, whoever kills a soul outside of this scenario, which is a death sentence, it is as if he had slain or killed mankind entirely. So if you are beefing with somebody, having troubles with somebody, and you go decide to go buy a gun and go shoot that person, it is as if you have killed the entire humanity. What do we have? 8 billion, 9 billion people now? You kill one individual, it's as if you killed 8 billion people. Why does Allah make it very strong for someone to know that if you kill one individual, it's as if you killed mankind entirely? This is a very powerful counter narrative to any hateful actions. So if you have beef with somebody, you have a problem with somebody, killing that person is not the answer. It is not the answer. Because on the day of judgment, you will be asked and judged by the judge of all judges. You will be asked and judged by God, by Allah the Almighty, the one that created you and created that individual that was killed. The sanctity of life is very high. The life of a human is very sacred. No one's allowed to kill and take somebody's soul. No one's allowed. No one has that right to kill and take someone's soul, regardless of the faith or background. Life of a human being is sacred in the eyes of Allah, in the eyes of the Creator. Unless this individual has done something that deserves death under authority of governments, then no one is allowed to take a life. No one is allowed to carry out a death sentence on nobody. The murder of innocent children is a crime of the highest order and a direct violation of any religious principles. Any religious principles that go back to the mighty Creator, the Almighty. This type of crime is one of the highest crimes there is. As much as we talk about this, we can't forget about our brothers and sisters in humanity that just lost someone. And we can't forget about the mothers who lost someone here in America, or back in Gaza, or in Sudan, or in Congo, anywhere in the world. This killing is happening. This murder is happening. Little children are being killed, targeted. And the question is, why are you targeting little children? Why don't you target someone with the same power as you, the same size as you, and the same readiness as you, and see if you would do it, if you would have a face-off. If you're cowardly that much, then why kill innocent children or seniors or adults who don't have any form of defense? God always tells us about being patient in situations like this. We always need to be very patient in situations like this. And we have to be closer to God in situations like this. If this means anything to us, it means that we have to look back at our relationship with God and make sure that we all have a relationship with God. Because, like I mentioned, the first thing that came to mind when you hear about someone that kills people, that hurts people, look at the relationship with them and God. And then look at their lifestyle. Are they living a lifestyle of righteousness? Are they living a lifestyle of mercy? No, most likely not. Why? Because if individuals have a piece of mercy or some kind of peace in their hearts with their own selves, they won't harm anybody. They can't harm anybody in situations like this. What Allah tells us in the Quran and what Allah told us in previous revelations such as the Bible or the Torah or the Zabur or the revelation that came down to Abraham, peace be upon him. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Akhi Usama, ahlan wa sahlan. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us about situations where we will be tested. We will be tested. When He tells us that, He is telling us to be patient. Why? Because patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. And these individuals that got tested, I encourage them to be patient, just like I encourage anybody before them to be patient with what happened to them. Because God will give you strength. This is only going to make you stronger. This is only going to make you stronger, and you're going to wonder, why did this happen? How did this happen? Oh God, please help me become better, a better individual. Now, whatever happened is not your fault. Whatever happened is not your fault. You have to realize that when God tests us, the testing is happening to strengthen us, to make us stronger. Now, some people are meant to die at a specific age that God decides. And we ask Allah for those individuals who lost someone young, specifically those young children, their parents. Obviously, we're looking forward to seeing them grow and seeing them become someone that they wished to be. We ask God to give these individuals patience. Now, these individuals, like I mentioned, they will become stronger and they will start looking for answers to many things. But I say to every individual that have lost someone, whether here in America or back home, that we are here all together. Humanity, mankind race, is here to stand with each other. Like the prophet said, we should be standing together like one body, where if the smallest part of this body, is aching of pain, we should all stand with that body. We should all stand with that small part of this body. We also have to learn how to strengthen the connection with our Lord. We have to learn how to strengthen this connection with our God, because the closer we are to God, the better outcomes we will have altogether in the community. If we find out that our community is far away from God, how do we find out that? We look at the activities that's happening in our community, the actions, the feedback that we hear from our community when we engage with them. And that's why we need engagement with our community. We need to keep engaging with our community. We need to continue on touching upon different cases in our community. If you are someone who has a reach, you can reach a bunch of people. Nowadays, social media is open for many people to reach many people. Instead of going on social media to act stupid, I'm gonna call it straight up, to act stupid and to act like monkeys, we need to be on social media trying to encourage people to do good. Have a positive message. You need to be on social media having a positive message. If you're using this social media just to get famous and to get out there and to get known, this individual wanted to get famous. This individual wanted to get famous with his actions, but he wanted to go out in this cool way. His own cool way, his own understanding of a cool way. He mentioned this in different places within the messages that he left and within the videos that he has. He wanted to hurt somebody. He wanted to see someone suffer. So if you are on social media trying to just get famous and do something crazy so people can have, want to see you more and more, be careful. Be very careful. You're wasting your time, because this time on earth is very short. How much longer are you going to live in this life? You're going to live another 40 years, 60 years, 80 years? No. I mean, after 40, another 80? I don't know. Or 30, another 60? That's, maybe. But the average number of maximum age is between 60 and 70. But some people go out early. So I encourage everybody who has any kind of reach, and I call out everybody who has any kind of reach, to make sure that you have a positive message. Have a positive message. If you have even one or two people that you can encourage to do something good, then please make sure to have a positive message for them. Call them. Call them to get closer to God. Call them to find out what their purpose in life is. Bring them closer to God. Bring them closer to the truth. Look for the truth with them. Remind people what they are here for on this earth. Remind people what the situation is for them here on this earth. Are they here to play games? Or are they here for a purpose that would serve humanity, would serve their Lord, would serve themselves and their loved ones, and would get them closer to God? That way, when they meet God, when they meet the Almighty Creator that have created them and put them on this earth, they would say, I have done everything that I was meant for. My dear brothers and sisters, the show is brought to you by Beckah Foundation. Beckah Foundation is a non-profit organization. You can reach it by going to the website Beckah.org, BECKAH.org. And we have a lot of missions, a lot of programs that we're working on. One of them is this radio show, the Revert Radio Show, which basically is here to shed light on lifestyle changes that could help in making this world better. Obviously, we can't change the world on our own. I can't change the world. You can't change the world by yourself. But if we work together, we 8 billion people. If we work together, each person carrying out a duty, each person carrying out a mission, each person having a positive purpose, this life, this world will be safer. This world will have less crime, especially such evil crimes like the crime that we heard about, the massacre in Minneapolis. This life would have less stress, which take people away from substances. It would have less substance abuse that we mentioned, addiction that we mentioned, drug abuse that we mentioned. It would have less gun violence. It would have less murders. Why? Because if everybody is busy with their own purpose, no one would be hating on each other. No one would be jealous from each other. These attributes that lead to crime, jealousy, hatred, wanting to take someone's spot or not liking what someone is doing because they're not me, technically. Oh, I want their spot. I want to be in their shoes. I want to do what they're doing. Having jealousy and having these issues may get you closer to evil rather than getting closer to God. As I mentioned, Beckah Foundation is online on the website. We're helping individuals, specifically those who are in prison. Currently, we do a lot of prison visits, and we try to help them out in many ways. But one of the ways is standing with them. And another way is helping them out if they need any kind of representation. We have lawyers that are helping out and are standing with us. We also help them out by coming to them and bringing them books that they require for education, for learning better, for becoming more positive. They're in prison. Some people are in prison forever. Some people are in prison for a very short time. So we try to touch base with all these individuals and try to help them out to make sure that they all are being served what they deserve to be served. We also give messages to these individuals so that way when they come out, they never have to go back in again, which means less crime. This is something that we really are very passionate about at Beckah Foundation, where we want to reduce the crime rate in our local society, communities, cities. And we need your help. We need a lot of your help. Why? Because with individuals like this person that committed this horrifying crime, the name of this person, I had it earlier, Robin Westman. So if this person was reached at an early age or early stage, not saying that nobody tried, I'm not saying that. But sometimes there is a technique of trying to figure out what these children, what these young individuals, this person was only 23 years old, but he was full of hatred. How long has he been feeding on this hatred for? It must have been a very long time for him to really take it in his heart, make it live there for a long time in order for him to carry an action. It must have been a very long time. So meeting with these individuals, meeting with families, trying to discuss different situations, different issues that they are suffering, hearing them out would allow for us to find out what the problem is. I may not be able to get to my kids, maybe because I'm their father. They're shy to tell me everything. They're afraid to tell me everything. Maybe the mother would have the same problem. They're not telling me nothing, these kids. But maybe if we present to them an individual that is worthy of being a role model, or someone who they should look up to, or maybe a good friend. If we present these children with good friends, or friends that have shown righteousness, then these individuals may change down the line. There's an episode that we're going to do next week, inshallah, by the will of Allah. We will be discussing raising kids and drug problems with. This individual is certified. Actually, he's a PhD doctor in this world. So I really encourage you to be with us next Wednesday. Next Wednesday at 4 p.m. right here on 1440, right here on TikTok and Facebook. We'll be meeting with Brother Muhammad. He will give us some ideas and some pointers, and he will also be helping us out in trying to reach these children, these kids, these young adults, these new adults basically, who are tackling this world. And once these children get to a stage where they feel like they know it all, then there's got to be some techniques to talk to them. And like I said, some parents might find it very hard to get to their kids. But there are some ways of getting to these children, getting to these kids that you're not able to get to. So let's say, like I mentioned, Mr. Robin Westman, who has carried out this horrible massacre that we just found out about. If we would have called him earlier, found out what he's thinking, checked up on him, engaged with him, looked into his eyes and really asked a question that may bring out the truth from this individual, we would have stopped this crime. We would have stopped this crime. if we paid close attention to these transactions that are happening, obviously when a person is living by themselves and they're doing their own thing, you probably can't have a lot of taps on them. But I really hope to God that they can bring these individuals that sold the weapons to this person. I hope to God that they bring him in front of justice at court to serve them justice, because they are as guilty as Robin Westman. My dear brothers, the reason for talking about this today is so we realize that when we're talking about any religious topic, it doesn't mean that we need to close our eyes and close our ears to the streets and to current events. No, we have to look out what's happening in the world. We have to be wise and see what's happening to our neighborhoods, to our cities. It's not all just, at the mosque all the time, or at the church all the time, wherever you come from. We need to pay attention and seek the truth and seek what's happening in our environment, seek what's happening in our city. Find out, is everybody doing good? Are we safe? Is it something that I can do to help? Is it something that I can do to create a better trend? Something positive? Our societies, our environments today, our communities have become more digital nowadays. So individuals that had interactions with this individual, Robin, they should have had some kind of sign to at least bring forward. Why? Because they could have prevented a problem that is much greater than themselves and much greater than Robin himself. It's scary that something like this is happening. It's scary that we are seeing such horrible situations in this world. It's very scary. But what I can say is, if we work together, if we work close together, we hold each other's hands in this journey of life of mankind, if we pay attention to the streets and we pay attention to our kids and we pay attention to our neighbors' kids and pay attention to people who are in our congregations, then we can avoid a lot of these problems. And prevention is the best medicine to any of these problems, my dear brothers. Prevention is the best method for all these problems. Because, believe it or not, if you can prevent a crime, it is much better. It is much better than trying to fix the crime afterwards, trying to heal someone after a crime. It is much better. It is very scary to see problems like this happen, and we ask Allah to keep us all safe. We ask Allah to keep us all safe from any of these problems. We ask Allah to keep myself and you, my dear listener, those who are watching, my loved ones, your loved ones, close ones to you, family and friends, everyone. I ask Allah, the Most High, the Creator, the Almighty, to keep us safe, to keep us peaceful, and to keep us standing together. Allahumma ameen. Thank you for being in with us today, and we'll see you tomorrow for peace. Thank you everyone for listening. It's an honor being with you. Honor being here. I will see you guys inshallah tomorrow, same time. Tomorrow's Friday. So inshallah will be the last day of the week. And we'll try to make it also another positive topic. Bi'idhnillah. Alright. Peace out. It was good talking to everybody.